Hey, it's Coach 2K with Coach2K.com. I'm here with another video today to talk about how to get better with specific players, and in this video we're going to work on Myles Turner, and I got a couple things I want to work on with him. And this is part of my series with my C2K Pacers Summer League squad, where we're using the real life roster that they're using down in Orlando, and instead of playing in Orlando we're traveling through Europe to play all of the Summer League teams. So we're fresh off our first win of the tour, and that came in game 1 against Real Madrid, so we were pretty pumped to get that win. The team was all excited to beat Real Madrid because they were the EuroLeague champs last year, and while it wasn't an exact roster from probably that championship team, it was still, they're probably the best team in the EuroLeague probably. So what we're going to do here is, in addition to showing the games, I'm also going to show some practice sessions. So like, we're going to work with Myles Turner here on two things. One, his set shot from mid-range, and also we're going to start working on post moves. So just as a reminder here, now there's his hot zones. He doesn't have any, so I'm not really going to worry about that in his case. And so just as far as a settings standpoint, I always practice on Hall of Fame Sim. Even if you play on a lower level, it makes sense to practice at this level because it's harder than what you'd experience in the game if you're playing at a lower level. And also I have the controller settings to absolute. Now specifically what we're going to work on here, this is the way I think when I play the game. Rather than try to learn everything, I break things down into small steps and just trying to get better at those specific things. And so in particular here, what we're going to work on is two things. We're going to work on how to enter and leave the post, which is pretty simple. You just hit triangle. And we're going to work on the post hook. And then over the course of our season here, we're going to work on all of these moves, but rather than try and get good at everything at one time, I like to break it down into steps. And I do the same thing with players. I'll work on one player exclusively for a while until I feel pretty comfortable with that player, and then I'll move on to another player. So again, what we've asked Turner to do here, let's look at his numbers here. First of all, he's got a decent standing mid-range. It's average, and he has a 85 standing dunk, which if we can get him a dunk standing, we're definitely going to want to do that. And then as far as the post hook goes, his post hook is 69. So it's not like it's something he's going to super excel at, but we still want to have it in the arsenal. So what we do, we go into practice mode here, and I want to practice from these spots, the baseline. So I'll spend some time practicing from the baseline here. That way if a guard penetrates and we're spotted up out here, we can knock that shot down. So part of the thing is just repetition, getting used to getting comfortable with his shot. What I try and do from a release standpoint is swish it, so I hit it right on the release point. So we take a few shots from there, also from the elbow right here. And you can see he's got a nice little mid-range jumper. He missed that one. So what we'll do, we'll spend, I don't know, a fair amount of time getting used to his shots, and we'll learn where he can shoot good at and where he can't, more so in the game. But so those are some of the things that we're going to do on the mid-range. And so I'll work on those spots and maybe try and get him to stand in a spot like here to see how he does. So now, just as a reminder, even though most of the guys in 2K, they can all do dribble moves and stuff. See if I can do, I can do a size up with him, and although it didn't really work there, I don't want to work on ISO motion skills with him. I'm just going to work on what he's going to do in the game. Now, you can see here that I entered and left the post, so we just want to kind of get used to him doing that. And then here is the low block. Now, you got to be careful when you post. Sometimes if you post too low down in here, then what you're going to do when you take a shot is hit the side of the backboard. So this is the block right here. So that's where you want to post at. And in plays, that'll probably be where you wind up. You might wind up like out here. And so if you do wind up here, you can either throw it back out So he'll reestablish the post and maybe get a little closer and then get the ball back, or you can just try and operate from there. Now, the deeper you can get in the post, the better. I mean, those of you that play me know that I want to get right here, and that's my best shot. So I'm going to do everything I can to get a shot here in the restricted circle. But if I can't do that, then I'm going to work on these things. So like to do the post move, the instructions say to do right or left with the stick, and I just did that, and he did a fadeaway. So instead of doing that, what I'll do is I'll just move the stick up on absolute, and you can see he does a little hook shot. And you can do it from each side and play around with his hook, and then just practice doing those hooks. You can see he's out pretty far there, and you know, we can see how well he can shoot the hook from different spots and different distances. Let's see, he's done pretty good so far. Now I want to try and get Myles Turner. I want to work him a little bit in the high post. You know, that's a little bit too far. So like if I do the control there, the hook won't work out that far. So you know, I want to try and get on the block and just work on getting the shots. So the idea here is that I'll learn the post hook using my mental memory, and I won't like forget that. I'm an older guy, so I have to break things down one thing at a time. So if I came into practice mode and I worked on all of these moves at one time, so let's go over to post moves and post shots, and I worked on them all at one time, then I'll tend to forget what does what. So I try and get post hook in my head done, and then once I'm very comfortable knowing, okay, this is how you do the post hook, then I'll start working on some of these other things. And then after we do it in the scrimmage, then we're going to, or in freestyle practice mode, then what we'll do is get him in the game. So we're going to try and work on getting the ball here in the post and just see how he performs against certain players. So this is what you'll want to do when you go into practice mode. You want to have something specific that you work on. And again, this is just how I do it. There's not a lot of videos out there to kind of tell you how to break down the game, but I start with the game working on offense. I work with one player, and I work on one thing at a time, and then I take it into the game and I work on it in the game, and then I move on to the next thing that I want to master. And when you break the game down incrementally like that, before you know it, you have mastered a lot of things in the game. So I like post play. I've had post players on the Pacers since I've been playing, and you know, one of the things I thought I was able to make a few good post moves this year, but I didn't spend enough time in the gym working on this particular stuff. So our next game is against Unikaha, so we'll continue to prep for that game, and I'll see you in the next video. So if you want to play, hit me up on PSN. It's www.coach2k.com, and if we get a chance to play sometime, then I will see you on the court.